So if there's one thing that I learned about work in the past 2 years is that think about the work like a relationship. It's not a one-way, it's actually a two-way communication and commitment. Just because a company pays us a salary doesn't mean we're the only one to be picked, to be judged. We actually access our managers, the bosses, and the company just as much as they do that to us. But unfortunately, I only came to that realization, or let's say mindset shift, last year. So before that, like many of you guys who are watching this video, I also have some really confusing, struggling time at workplace, deal with a lot of things, and sometimes I literally, burn out, feel so drained at work and lose interest in a lot of things. So I feel like last year was really a major year for me, and a lot of the things happened at work, and I shifted my position quite a few times. So trust me, I've been there. Hey everyone, my name is Miranda and thank you for coming to my channel. So today I want to talk about those 3 signs or red flags for you to reconsider your current role and perhaps it's time to leave the job. So the first sign is when we see a lack of development and growth opportunities. So you might find yourself having little or even none opportunities to further your career progression within the company. This could be the factors such as sometimes the company is just too small, there are not enough available roles for it to expand, or sometimes if you're working in a highly competitive workplace where the upward mobility is just very restricted and take many years and take a lot of process, and so it's just very competitive. And sometimes you might find yourself doing repetitive tasks over and over again. I know a lot of people, or some people are probably happy or fine with that, but I think for me personally, I just couldn't deal with mediocre or repetitive tasks every day. I mean, I know sometimes it is essential and it's part of your work, but like I feel like when you reach certain point where you have to do the same task over and over again, and you already see no challenges or new opportunities to expand your skill set. And I think that for me, or like for a lot of people, might lead to some boredom or feel less challenged and eventually lose interest at work. And also sometimes I feel like you might find yourself lack of development opportunities is because maybe the company didn't provide enough training or support programs, especially if you work in the finance or technology industries. Say for instance, with the trend of AI, if you're working in a AI company and the company doesn't give enough training or the trend or the latest information happening in the industries, so you can't just sit there and do your task without knowing what's happening in the outside world. So I feel like the company does have a role in that process to help you to further expand your skill set and be help their staff to equip with the latest technologies, tools, and insights. Okay, moving on to the second red sign is what I call sweet trap. Okay, the way I understand is that when a company speaks highly of you, they recognize your attribution and they praise your work and they see you as a valuable asset to the company. But when it comes to monetary compensation, they just become silent or wouldn't have a good talk with you. So that's what I call a sweet trap. So it is understandable from a company's perspective that they always make the best use out of the lower budget, or they try to get every good aspect from an employee. It is understandable, but from the employee's perspectives, I feel like it's important to know that our time, that our commitment, and our values are cherished and valued in the proper way. Here, I want to specifically talk about dry promotion. So this is the kind of situation where you get a promotion without actually getting pay rise. Well, this could be something acceptable for some people in a short term because some people might see it as an opportunity to grow their career, or as an opportunity to expand their skill set, or take on some tasks that they wouldn't be able to do it on other roles, because there are certain things that you can only do when you're in certain positions, because different roles comes with different responsibilities and the power. So you probably need to be in that position to do certain tasks. But I feel like when on the other side, when you're obviously qualified or even overqualified, that novelty of having that big title or job promotion actually went off very quickly and quickly become a sense of giving away some free or even underpaid labor. If you take on more tasks, more managerial roles, and without actually getting paid more or paid enough, when everything goes on well, you might not get the credit, but if something happens, you're the one responsible for that thing. So you gotta be really careful with the dry promotions. I was given a dry promotion last year. What happened is that my boss all of a sudden sat us down at a meeting and told everyone that he wanted to promote me as a team leader to manage a team of 3. I was thrilled. But I also kind of see it coming because during that period of time, I just, actively took on many of the tasks and responsibilities that was kind of out of scope, but like none of the team members, they were willing to do that. So I just feel like if I can do it like when no one is doing it. I am a very self-driven person. I don't like doing repetitive tasks. If I have to deal with, I always figure out a better way to either make the repetitive task into a more systematic or structured ways to reduce time, but also on the other side, I will always actively looking for more aspects to expand on my skill set to make sure that I get the most out of my work experience with certain companies. So back to the topic, my boss saw that and he appreciated my work, so that's why he gave me the promotion. But what I did is that I didn't sit down and ask myself, do I really want a promotion? What does this promotion really mean to me? I just didn't ask for the pay rise on time. What I did is that I used the next 1 month trying to prove myself, trying to prove that the boss has made the right decision to promote me as the team leader. That's what I was busy doing in the next month, but already missed the best chance or best time to ask for a pay rise. So by the time when I, sat down and asked for a pay rise, my boss just gave me a firm no. So that's when I realized I was kind of, heartbroken because I feel like I already proved myself and you're giving me this position. So obviously, I'm eligible for more payment, right? But yeah, that didn't happen. So that was the moment I kind of realized that no matter how good I do my work, no matter how many more tasks that I take on myself, like actively, willingly, I don't feel like he will compensate me in a way that I wanted. So that's really not an ideal situation for many of us. To deal with it, I feel like it's very important to know your career motivation, your career focus at the moment. Like maybe ask yourself some questions like, what does this promotion mean to me? Do I really need it? Because you don't always have to accept the promotion just because the company wants to give you the roles. So it's always like a two-way communication and commitment. So it's good to ask yourself some questions before you actually take on the task. Okay, the last sign is toxic environment and people. Toxic people at work can come in many forms. Sometimes they are, self-centered, aggressive in pushing their own opinions, easily offended, manipulating, and also abuse of power sometimes. Or some toxic people, they simply love gossip and spreading rumors. So there are also toxic work environment, which can happen in the form of poor communication, poor leadership, and a high turnover rate. Well, first of all, let's just admit and accept the fact that we're always gonna meet some unpleasant people or things at workplace or like in life in general. We just have to deal with them. But I think what's more important is to recognize those toxic behaviors and people and say no to them. It might be hard to understand this concept when you are at the early stage of your career because we always talk about toxic people, toxic environment, but if you haven't really experienced it or you haven't really, get to the point, oh, this is toxic, you might not know it when it's actually happening. So I feel like it's very important to start documenting those unpleasant things, people or experiences. So when it happens, do some reflection, like why did it happen? What went well and what didn't work out and what was the reason behind it? Was it because of you or was it because of other, was it because of the way of communication? Could it be solved if we change the way how we talk or how we communicate, or was it something else? Like, was it something that is more out of your control? Maybe that's just the way how other people or how things are done within the company. There's nothing you can do about it. So these are the questions that will be helpful for you to better understand the situation, because I feel like it's really important to do a self-reflection most of the time. That's how you can better understand how you feel. It's like trying to understand the relationship between yourself and the outside world. Why you're happy, why you're unhappy, why you're anxious, why you are in a position where you have to take shit from other people when you obviously have the right, or just stand up for yourself and say no to a lot of things. At the end of the day, no job worries of your health, let alone mental health. If a job has affected you on a mental level, then it's really good time to sit down and ask yourself some questions like, are you happy? Why do you still allow this type of things happen? Could you do something else? Why you still work for this role? Was it something that you want to gain more from this work? Or is it simply because you're scared to jump out of this position and you're out of fear because you're afraid of change? It's always good to reflect on yourself, ask yourself some of the questions. So those are the 3 red signs that I want to share with you guys today. I know everyone's experience is different and everyone's starting point or positions or the things that they value are all different. I feel like those 3 red signs are kind of the very trigger points for me to make the decision to leave a job. So let me know in the comment sections if you have been in this kind of situations before and how you have solved these situations. Maybe maybe there's some tips that you can offer me as well. So yeah, let's talk. Thank you guys for coming, and stay tuned at the end of the video if you're still watching. By the way, this is my very first video that I upload on YouTube. So yeah, bye, love you.